So you've asked yourself this question: what is the value of the Swedish Institute Scholarship? What do you stand to gain? What do recipients of the scholarship receive as benefits of winning the scholarship? That is what I'm going to be addressing in this video. But before I go into that, I want to address the issue of why Sweden in the first place. What is so interesting about Sweden that should interest you to come study here? The first thing is that international master's programs in Sweden are taught in English. All right, so that means if you are from Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, you really are going to cope well in master's programs when you come to Sweden to study for your master's degree. And then the second one is that if you studied in Nigeria, Ghana, or Kenya, or any even English-speaking African country, you are exempted from every English language requirement. Now, this is the thing. Remember I said earlier that international master's programs in Sweden are taught in English. So in other words, for you to come study in Sweden, you need to be someone who can speak and understand and write in English very well. So usually universities in Sweden require that candidates meet some English proficiency requirements. And that can be through IELTS or TOEFL, all right? But if you studied in Nigeria, Ghana, or Kenya, you are exempted from these requirements. You don't need to submit IELTS or TOEFL. I mean, it's all there on the University Admissions in Sweden website that candidates who studied in these countries are exempted from. They are considered to meet the English proficiency requirement. And if you check different rankings of countries all over the world, check the top 10 happiest countries in the world, check the global ranking of sustainability in terms of which country is the most sustainable in terms of energy and all, in terms of which economy is the most competitive. If you check all these rankings, you discover that Sweden ranks top. I mean, Sweden is number 2 on the innovative country ranking. Sweden is top 10 in terms of the happiest countries to live in. Check all these rankings. These are good indicators of how good it is to come live and study in Sweden. All right, so what is the Swedish Institute Scholarship all about? In fact, what is even the Swedish Institute? All right, so the Swedish Institute is actually a Swedish government agency that is saddled with the responsibility of promoting Sweden all over the world. And they do this through different programs. And one of their programs is award scholarships to students from all over the world to come study in Sweden, full scholarship. And one of these programs, as I said, is the Swedish Institute Scholarship for Global Professionals, which candidates from Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya are eligible to apply for. So what are the benefits that you get as a recipient of the scholarship? What is the value of the scholarship to you as a recipient? What are those interesting things about the offers that the scholarship is bringing to you? Now, number one is that the scholarship covers full tuition fees. I mean, if you want to study for masters in Sweden, you need to pay tuition fees. But if you win this Swedish Institute Scholarship for Global Professionals, the Swedish Institute will pay your tuition fees to your university, full tuition fees. Number 2 is a monthly allowance of 10,000 Swedish crowns, which is about $1,049 every month throughout your study period in Sweden. So if you are going to be studying for 2 years, you get this amount, 10,000 Swedish crowns, or an equivalent of you get this 10,000 Swedish crowns every month for 2 years if you are studying a 2-year master's program. If you are studying a 1-year master's program, you get this 10,000 Swedish crowns every month for 1 year throughout the entirety of your study period in Sweden. Number 3 is a travel grant of 15,000 Swedish crowns, which is about $1,500 Now, what this travel grant is like all the costs that you've made regarding your transportation to Sweden. But the thing is, you don't get this travel grant until you've arrived in Sweden. So you need to pay your you need to pay for your ticket yourself. But when you get, I mean, your travel ticket, your air flights, you need to pay for it yourself. But when you get to Sweden, immediately, I mean, even before the end of the first month of your first month in Sweden, you receive this travel grant, 15,000 Swedish crowns. Another benefit of this scholarship is automatic membership of the Swedish Institute Network for Global Leaders. Swedish Institute Network for Global Leaders. What is this about? What is the SINFGL? Swedish Institute Network for Global Leaders. So it's actually a network for scholarship recipients, for the recipients of these scholarships in Sweden, all over Sweden. So there are chapters of this organization throughout different universities in Sweden. So once you receive the scholarship, once you're a scholarship holder, you become an automatic member of this network in your university. So what this network does is they organize study visits, different interactions with the Swedish society. They organize events, conferences, anything. So it's just a community of recipients of this scholarship coming together to broaden their experience, get to know each other, know more about each other's culture, know about each other's perspectives, and get to do things together, things beneficial for themselves, for their career, and for the world. When I was studying at Linköping University, I was a member of the Linköping chapter of the SINFGL. I was even a board member. I served in the capacity of a treasurer. So this is just one of the opportunities. And as soon as you graduate, you finish, that doesn't mean that's the end of your relationship with the Swedish Institute. As you are graduating, you become a member of the Swedish Institute Alumni Association. And through this alumni association, you get to, you still become, engaged with the Swedish Institute. They can send information, conferences. They can even after you've left Sweden, even if you leave Sweden, they can even invite you to come to Sweden for an event, to come, for a conference, all right? And then you get to meet some members as an alumni, as an alumnus. You get to meet members from of this organization from your country, and you interact. There's a lot of benefit from networking with one another. Right. So another benefit is an hassle-free visa application process as a scholarship recipient. Normally once you get admitted for a master's program in Sweden and you want to apply for residence permits from the migration agency, you need to submit some proof of funds to show that you can sustain yourself in Sweden for your living expenses. But when you win the scholarship, all you have to present for your residence permit application is your scholarship offer letter, your admission letter, and your passport, your ID, your passport. That's all. So easy, and the process is so fast. When I applied for my own residence permit, it took about 10 days to get a reply that yes, they've approved it. 10 days. In 10 days, from the day I applied to the day they got back to me that they've approved my permit application, 10 days. So that's just one of the benefits of winning the scholarship. If you don't win a scholarship and maybe you want to come on your own, they can even ask you to come for an interview at the embassy, as part of the visa, as part of the residence permit application process. But if you win this scholarship, this scholarship offer letter is like a golden ticket to Sweden. So that's just one of the, another benefit of winning the scholarship. And in fact, when you win the scholarship, when you're applying for residence permit, the residence permit application fee is waived for you. If anyone else was, applying for residence permit for studies in Sweden without a scholarship, they would have to pay about, I think, 1,000 Swedish crowns as application fee. That's about maybe $100 or so. But if you're a recipient of the scholarship, that visa application fee, that residence permit application fee is waived for you. And, another interesting thing about the scholarship is that there's no compulsion to leave Sweden as soon as you finish your master studies. There is no compulsion. You are not compelled, to go back to your country for a number of years after you win the scholarship. This is really, really a good deal when you actually compare it with some other scholarships that tell you after you finish your studies in our country, you have to go back to your country maybe for 2 years before you can, come back again and all that. That's not the issue. That's not the case for the Swedish Institute Scholarship for Global Professionals as that today. I don't know, maybe by the next application, that might be the case, but as of today, and this scholarship has been going on for a number of years, but as of today, there's no compulsion to leave Sweden. So after you've gotten admitted, you've gotten the scholarship, you've applied for residence permit, and they've granted you your residence permit for studies in Sweden, and you are able and you travel down to Sweden to come study. That residence permit allows you to travel to more than 20 countries in Europe: France, Netherlands, Germany, visa-free. Why? Because Sweden is one of the Schengen countries. So in other words, any residence permit you hold in Sweden or any of the other Schengen countries will allow you to move freely within the Schengen region without visa for a maximum of 90 days. So let's say, for example, you're studying in Sweden and you just feel like, tomorrow I feel like going to Denmark, or tomorrow I feel like going to France. I just want to see how Paris looks like. You can just go online, book your air flight. The next day, you're in Paris. No visas required. All right? So that's one of these very interesting things about studying in Sweden, about studying in Sweden. So you've looked at all these benefits and you're saying to yourself, wow, this is really, really interesting. I would really, really love to study in Sweden. I would love to apply for this scholarship, but I'm so old. I'm so old. I'm 40 years old. I'm 45 years old. Am I still eligible to apply for this scholarship? Let me say yes, because there's actually no age limit for the scholarship. I mean, if you go to the Swedish scholarship website, go through it, read from the top to the bottom, you would never see anywhere they mention any age requirement. They don't mention any age. What they really, really stress on as part of the requirements is they're looking for professionals, people with work experience, people with work experience. All right. So that's one of those things about scholarship. And then you are saying, I don't have much work experience. I just graduated. I just finished national service. Well, the fact is, the requirement for the scholarship is at least 3,000 hours of work experience, which is about 1.5 years of working for 8 hours per day. So, and internships are considered valid work experiences. So your national service experience, your experience with at your PPA, place of primary assignments, your experience with what's this other thing called? That's it, volunteering. All these experiences are valid. NYSC, internships, part-time job, whether you did freelancing or you were doing jobs where you were not paid, you were doing part-time, full-time, unpaid jobs. All these are work experiences that you can present for the scholarship. All right. It all depends on how you present your profile. Now, I'm not saying you should lie or be dishonest, but I'm just saying you should. Sometimes we tend to underestimate how much work we've done in the past. We tend to think, or maybe because we didn't work at maybe the United Nations or any of these big organizations, then we didn't do anything. But that's not the case. When you look at your work experiences intensively, you look at it and you see that, I was able to raise revenue for this organization. I was able to organize free medical outreaches. I was able to, and when you go in deeper into all these experiences, then you'll be able to see that, really, yeah, interesting. I can really, really do something with these for the scholarship. And then you've looked at everything I've said, and you're like, well, I graduated with second class lower grade. Can I still win the scholarship? Let me say yes, because I know people who graduated with second class lower grades and still won the scholarship. So, and in fact, if you go through the scholarship website, there's no mention of any grade. There's no first class requirement, there's no second class requirement, none like that. Okay? What they are looking for is people who have, work experience, volunteering experience. And if you have this, you can win the scholarship. Grades are only needed during the admissions application. And if you select your courses right, you can get admitted with second class lower. All right, so it's not a problem. So after listening to everything that I've said, you are now interested. You are like, all right, now, Mobolaji, let's go for it. Let's go for the scholarship. But I would say, be patient. Be patient. Why? Because admission applications usually start in October, all right, and ends in January. That's autumn admission rounds usually start in October and ends in January. Then the scholarship application usually follows after in February. All right. So if you are hearing me now, just be patient. Prepare yourself for the start of applications in October. All right. If you want to learn more about how to present a strong application for this scholarship, of course, this scholarship is competitive. A lot of people apply for it, but a small number of people win it because, of course, normal. It's a competition. A lot of people will be interested in the scholarship that covers, a lot of things, full tuition fees, monthly allowances and all. So a lot of people are really, really very interested, all right? But if you want to learn how to submit a strong application for this scholarship, all right, visit Scholars.Africa/prep class for more information.